Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I hope and trust you are well. Welcome to another week and another session on the web development module. I hope and trust you had a good day. Yeah, we wind up. We wind up with a very, very interesting topic this final week of the web development module. Yeah, so we are in week 8. We are in week 8, the final week before you begin your specialization phase, where you'll get to choose a specialization track. Are you one for mobile development? Are you one for AI? Do you want to be a software tester, or are you passionate about full stack development? Yeah, so just a reminder, humble and polite reminder, the info session for the specialization is set for Wednesday. Please do not miss out. Okay, you get a chance and opportunity to ask your questions if you have any regarding specialization. Yeah, so don't miss out on that one. Okay, so on to today's topic. On to today's topic. The one most of you, majority of you have been looking forward to, the deployment and hosting. Deployment and hosting. Deployment and hosting. So what is it all about? So since we are in the final week of the web development module, this week's assignment will be a bit different. You'll now be required to create a fully fledged website, and that is a multi-page website. So we have been doing single pages for a while now, but now you will be required to do a multi-page website, having several different pages, showcasing the several different sections of your website. So before you get to deploy and host your multi-page website, one thing that you need to do is plan and organize your projects. How do you do that? We all went through the software development lifecycle. You know what it takes to plan for your project, but I just want to reiterate a few things. Number one, you need to understand the purpose of your website. So, what and who or why? Those are questions that you need to answer. Who are you designing for? Who are you designing for? Why are you designing that particular website? And what is its purpose? So, one, you need to identify your audience. Who are you building the website for? Is it a business? Are you creating a portfolio? Are you creating an e-commerce site? Are you creating a travel site? Basically, identify your audience. Then you need to define your goals and objectives. Are you aiming to showcase your work? Are you selling a product? Are you sharing ideas? Or is it a blog post? So list down your clear goals. Then you gather your requirements. What are the must-have pages? Okay, so there are 4 core pages that will never miss on any website. 4 core pages that will never miss on any website. One is the landing page or the home page. 2 is the About Us section. 3 is the services. And 4 is the contacts section. These 4 pages are considered the core of a website. And basically, they would never miss when you are creating a website. So once you understand the purpose of your website, then you can configure and define your structure and the sitemap. Configure and define your structure and the sitemap. So you will list your core pages, as I've mentioned. Any sub pages, if there are, you will also define them here. Okay, so basically, how will your website look like? What will be the flow of information on your website? And after doing that, next you have your wireframing and layout design. Basically just coming up with a sketch of how you intend your website to look like. How do you intend your website to look like? Okay. So there are a lot of websites on the public internet. You can gain inspiration from some of these websites on how yours should eventually turn out. Okay. So that is what we call wireframing. Just basically creating a sketch of what your website will look like. So you can do a rough sketch either with pen and paper, or if you are knowledgeable with wireframing tools such as Figma or Adobe XD, then you can use those tools for wireframing. After your rough sketches, then comes content creation. Then comes content creation. I do not have a PowerPoint presentation. Someone is complaining my PowerPoint is not showing. I do not have a PowerPoint presentation. I do not have one. After your rough sketches, next you will have your visual design. You will have your visual design. After that, you will have your visual design. So with your visual design, this is where you will decide one on your color scheme. Very, very important. You must choose colors that complement each other. Subtle colors that are not too conspicuous. Okay. Yeah, colors that actually complement your objectives and your goals. Also, this is where you will pick a typography, the font. What font are you going to use? There's no doubt the type of font that you are using will completely change the outlook of your web pages. So this is also where you'll pick your font. And remember, this consistency is key. Consistency is key. Do not use so many fonts, even if you have different pages. Do not use so many fonts. At max, just do 2 or 3 if you need to use different fonts. 2 or 3 fonts. 2 or 3 fonts should be adequate. But if you asked me for advice, I will just stick to 1 font for the entire website. Something else to keep consistent is the design of your web pages. So taking into consideration the Powerland project website, so whichever page you navigate to, you would see that the design is basically consistent. You have a navigation bar at the top. You have your call to action at the center. And then you have the different sections following that after, and then you have a footer with social media, extra links, privacy policy, terms and conditions. So basically that would be how your design should look like. Consistency across the pages. You don't want a user accessing a web page on your website and they think that they are lost or they've been navigated away from your website. So keep it consistent. Keep it very, very consistent. You don't want to lose your clients. You don't want to lose traffic just because somebody thinks, oh, where have I gone wrong? Okay. So consistency is very, very important. So after your visual design, you've chosen your colors, you've chosen your typography, you've selected or designed your images. You need the content, content creation. Hey, this one is a tough one, content creation. Content creation. This will be the text. Coming up with this text is not an easy task. This text that you see all over the website, not an easy task coming up with this. So research as much as possible. Keep it relevant to your goals and objectives. If it is a product you're selling, if it is services you're selling, keep your content relevant to that. You do not want to lose your audience just because your content was a bit off. Also, your images need to be relevant to your goal and objectives. Your images also need to be very, very relevant. So after having your content, you've gotten everything ready. Next is choosing your technologies and tools. Which technologies are you going to use for your website? How are you going to develop it? So this is where you will decide, am I coding from scratch? Am I coding it from scratch, manually from scratch? Or do I need to incorporate some technologies and tools to lighten my load and also complete my task in good time? Okay, so you can either go it manually if you're feeling ready and you're up to the task. You can go it manually, or 2, you can use technologies and tools such as content management systems, or CMS in short. These ones are used to speed up the process of coming up with a website. Okay, so they give you features such as drag and drop, where you can easily design using a graphical user interface and come up with a website as quickly as you can drag and drop. So some of these CMSs that you might come across are, you have WordPress. Not sure if you've heard of that. So there is WordPress. This is a very, very popular CMS. We have Wix. You have Wix.com, a very good website builder. So all of these offer drag and drop features. They offer templates that you can use and leverage on. Yeah, so they really simplify the design and development of websites and make it efficient. So you can use such tools, such technologies to do so. Next, you can leverage the use of frameworks. Yeah, so some of you have been asking, what about React? Yes, you can do React as a framework. You can do React. You can use React as a framework to create those front-end interfaces. You can do Vue.js. You can do Angular. Those are examples of front-end frameworks. Or finally, you can use some libraries such as Bootstrap. That's a CSS library. You have Bootstrap, CSS library, CSS and JS, sorry, CSS and JS library. You can also do Tailwind, another popular CSS library. Another popular CSS library is Tailwind. Yeah, so you can leverage the use of this and so many other libraries available at your disposal. Yeah, so whatever that you want to do charts. There's a charts library in JavaScript that can help you configure charts very well. Yeah, so you only need to put in some effort to search for them, but they are available. They are available if you need to incorporate them on your website. But if you are one for shortcuts, there's another easy way out. Yes, we all have, there are all kinds of people here. So yes, there's some of us who will opt for shortcuts. So if you're one for shortcuts, there is another simple way that you can play it. So you can opt for themes and templates. You can opt for themes and templates. So you have things like Theme Forest. You have the Theme Forest. You have Envato, the Envato market. Yeah, so you can opt for such. They give options for various templates in various categories. You can do portfolios, you can do e-commerce sites, any type of category or website. You can do dashboards and admin templates and so on and so forth. Yeah, so that is if you are not willing to put in the work. Yes, you can. This is also another option for your development. No, for choosing your technologies and tools. This is also another option. You can go this way. But remember, these ones are for sale. These ones are for sale. So there is a possibility you buy something here, you will run into it somewhere else. There is that possibility, okay? There is that possibility. Very huge possibility. You buy something here and then you find someone else also has something similar. Yeah, so you also need to consider that, because it's a marketplace. People are here to make money. Once you buy it, it will still remain there. Somebody else can still buy it. Yeah, but it is an option. It is an option that you can also look at. Yes. I do not gatekeep. I do not gatekeep. I will share every information that I know. So that is also an option. Pre-built templates. Pre-built templates. So you're free to choose any tool and technology that suits you best. But now, even if you choose any tool or technology, yeah, you are in a very good position because you went through the fundamentals of web development. You actually know and understand uh, how a website is built using vanilla code. So even if you are using your frameworks, your libraries, you know what is actually going on. Yeah, and all these frameworks and libraries, the core of them is actually HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. React.js is nothing but JavaScript. Bootstrap is CSS and JS. Tailwind is CSS. So there's nothing really special about other than they lighten your load and they increase your productivity. Yeah, that is the only thing that they have going for them. So once you've chosen your tools and technologies, next is the development phase where you actually get to write your code. So far we have only been doing front end, but as you advance to the next phase, you will be considering also the back end of your solutions. How am I going to connect to a database? What database will I be using? Okay. What security considerations do I need to adhere to make my solution secure? So backend development is a whole other topic. Yeah, so also consider that during your coding phase. So you've created your website. You now think it is ready, but before you deploy it, you need to test it. You need to test it. So testing and debugging becomes your next phase, testing and debugging, where you make sure that your website works properly and as intended, especially that one, as intended. It is not doing the opposite of what you intended. Yeah, that happens with programming logic. You want something to happen this way, it happens the opposite way. So, yeah, so make sure your website is working or your web solution is working as intended so that eventually you're offering a great user experience. So some things that you need to consider during this phase is cross-browser testing. Make sure your website is working across at least the major browsers, Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Microsoft Edge. Yes, make sure at least it is working across those major browsers. Yeah, so cross-browser testing, test it across those browsers. Another important item to consider in this phase is mobile responsiveness. In this day and age, most people are just usually on their mobile phones or mobile devices, tablets, smartphones. Yeah, so not even consider, it is a must nowadays. Make sure your website, web application is mobile ready. It is responsive. It can be accessed through any mobile device. Very, very important. And as you're testing, You meet any error, fix it as soon as possible. Fix it as soon as possible. But also give other people the chance to interact with your solution. Let other people critique your work, because as a developer, you will tend to be very, very biased, because you only see the best from you. You'll only see the best from you yourself. You won't see a mistake. And you will think this is the best for everyone. So let other people test your solution. Maybe even just a group of friends, 10, 15 people. Yeah, they can give you valuable feedback, and yeah, you can gain some insights from their feedback, and understand that, yeah, I should have done this way, but not how I have done it. You can also, using the developer tools, check the performance of your website. While still locally on your machine, you can check the performance of your website. How fast are my page loads? Do I have anything slowing it down? Are my images configured properly for web viewing? Such things. So once you're done with the testing, everything is working well, then you are free and comfortable to move on to the next phase, and that is launch. You need to launch your website and deploy and host it. Deploy and host it. So first things first, during this phase, you need to select a hosting provider. And we'll come to some of the criteria that you can use when selecting the hosting provider. We'll come to that shortly. So after you've chosen a hosting provider, then you deploy your website. You simply move your files from your local machine to the hosting provider you have selected, so that it is made available to the public internet. And once you've launched your website, don't just sit there. Don't just sit there. You need to market it. You need to promote it. You need to promote it. So make a lot of noise on social media. Make a lot of noise on social media about your website. Remember, most websites that you'll be designing, most if not all, it is because you are advertising your business. So make a lot of noise about what you've designed. Promote it as much as possible using social media or any other means necessary, you deem necessary, to get the word out there about what you have created. So after you've launched, your work doesn't end there. Your work doesn't end there. As the developer, your work doesn't end there. You have ongoing maintenance and any necessary updates. So we all know in this tech world, things are constantly changing, constantly evolving. So you also need to keep that into consideration. Keep your frameworks, your libraries up to date, because now and again, security vulnerabilities are discovered and updates are released or patches are released. So you need to keep yourself abreast of such changes and updates so that you can also apply to your own solutions. Yeah. And because you're doing, maybe your website is not dynamic, maybe it is a static website, you also need to keep the content up to date. You also need to keep the content up to date if it is not dynamic. So regularly update the content if anything changes in your services or your about us. Maybe you have expanded, you need to update that information. Don't let your website have out of date information, such that you have a new product, you have a new service that you're offering, it is not yet reflected on the website. Okay. And always monitor security. Security is a very huge thing when it comes to a website. Uh, very sensitive. So yeah, most hosting providers will give you a dashboard for monitoring any errors or any breaches to your solution. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You don't want to wake up and your website is missing. And yet you left it running the previous night. So oh, that is also very, very important. It's also very important. Okay. So let us have a look at some hosting, the types of hosting that you have available to you and what to consider when choosing your hosting provider. After that, we will proceed to practically host a solution using at least two methods, and then we will call it a day, okay? So we've already defined what hosting is. Hosting is simply placing your website files in a location where they're made accessible on the public internet. And whereas now deployment is the process of moving those files from your local development environment to the production or the live environment, and that is your host. Okay, so there's that distinction between web hosting and deployment. So when it comes to web hosting, there are four types. There are four major types of web hosting that you will cross. Four major types of web hosting that you will come across. So number one is shared hosting. Number one is shared hosting. Shared hosting. So shared hosting, this is the most affordable way you can, when it comes to paid hosting. This one is the most affordable option that you have for hosting. So with shared hosting, what happens is you have a server. You have a server. A server is basically a computer, okay? The only difference between a server and your laptop is a server is specifically made for this, for hosting files, and it is quite powerful. Yeah. So, but it is basically just a computer. So with shared hosting, what happens is you are renting space inside a server. So the server is divided into several portions, and you rent a portion per month or yearly. Okay, so that is what shared hosting is. Just like an apartment complex. You have a very tall building with different houses, and each house is rented out individually. So that is how shared hosting is. Now, yes, it is very, very affordable. The downside of this hosting type is that it is limited performance-wise. And how so? Remember, you are sharing resources of one server. You're sharing resources of one server. You can imagine how that will turn out. What if we are 1,000 and we are all accessing the server at the same time? What happens? So there are major performance limitations when it comes to shared hosting. Two, you do not have control whatsoever on what you are given. Just like when you are renting out a house. Yes. So if the landlord decides today you guys are not getting water, what are you going to do? Yeah. So you are very limited in terms of control. You have no control over the resources that are available to you. Okay. So those are the downsides when it comes to shared hosting. So also consider that it might be affordable, but there are major limitations. Major limitations. Number two, we have virtual private servers. Virtual private servers, or VPS in short. So with virtual private servers, it is the same as shared hosting, but this one comes with dedicated resources. So you have a dedicated portion, you have dedicated resources, and therefore you have a bit more control on what you can do on this hosting service. Okay, so this one comes with a cost. This one comes with a cost. It's a bit more expensive than the shared hosting, but then again, you're getting more control. You're getting more control over what you can do on this hosting service. Number three that you might come across is one that is called dedicated. Dedicated hosting. Dedicated hosting. So this is where you rent an entire server. So someone gives you a computer like yours as the server and leaves it to you. So they're renting it out to you monthly. You pay them and you use the server as you please. So this one offers more control, more flexibility on what you can do, okay, and more power, more power. Remember, this one is also shared. The virtual private servers are also shared. It is shared, but you have a dedicated portion. This one, you're doing the entire server. Entire server. So this one is the most expensive. This one is the most expensive, but it offers more flexibility, more control on what you can do. Okay. And finally, to the one that everyone seems to be using currently is cloud hosting. Cloud hosting. Cloud hosting. So this is where your website, your solution is hosted across multiple servers. It is hosted across multiple servers. And the beauty about cloud hosting is how scalable they are. They are very, very scalable in that you experience a spike in traffic, the resources automatically scale up to counter that spike. Okay, so when the demand is needed, when there is demand for more resources, your solution will be automatically scaled up. If that demand goes down, your solution is automatically scaled down. So that is the beauty of cloud hosting. So here we have examples such as Azure, Microsoft Azure, you have AWS, you have Google Cloud, and the likes. So yeah, that is cloud hosting. That is cloud hosting. Even your famous ones are here. Netlify, Vercel, Render. Okay, so yeah, they are all here. Cloud hosting. So you have those four options. They have those four options available to you depending on some criteria that you choose, depending on criteria that you choose. So you have those 4 options: shared hosting, the most affordable when it comes to paid. You have virtual private servers. These are still like shared, but you have a dedicated portion and more control. You have a dedicated hosting where you rent out an entire server. And then you have your cloud hosting services. And the good thing about this one, you have options like Netlify and Vercel that offer free tiers up to with certain limitations. With certain limitations. So what are some of the things that you need to consider when you are selecting a hosting provider? When you are selecting a hosting provider, remember these things you'll be asked by potential clients. So you need to know them. So one is performance and speed. Performance and speed. Yeah, performance and speed. So, for example, if you're hosting if you want to host a website for a company that is local meaning it is the company does business in your country, so it resides in your country, only does business in your country. Yeah, so it is only accessed by citizens of your country. So such a website, it would be preferable to host it using a local hosting provider rather than going with a hosting provider whose servers do not even exist anywhere near your continent. The hosting provider is in Europe, their servers are in Europe, yet you want to host a website for a business that is in South Africa only. So yeah, you need to choose a server that is nearest you. Performance and speed. Performance and speed. Okay, nearest you, closer to you is as much preferable. So a local hosting provider would make much more sense. So this translates to lower latency. Okay. When it comes to performance and speed, you also need to consider bandwidth. Bandwidth. How much bandwidth is your hosting provider setting up for you? Are they sufficient? Are they sufficient to sustain your website? Remember, if you deplete your bandwidth, the bandwidth is usually reset monthly, but if you deplete your bandwidth, then remember your website will be inaccessible. So those are things that you need to consider. You also need to consider reliability. How reliable is your provider? Reliability and uptime. Yeah, so most providers currently brag about 99.99% uptime. Yeah, so yeah, look out for such providers. Also look out for providers who have redundant systems, such that when a service goes down, they can quickly configure something very fast, so fast that you will not even realize the change, or your website will not even go down because there is another copy somewhere. There's a redundant system for that. So consider such things. Security-wise, as I said, security is very, very important. Yeah, you want a provider who will offer you regular backups. They can provide basic protection against some forms of attacks to your solutions. And they're also compliant with worldwide standards when it comes to hosting and the service that they are providing. So security is also something that you need to consider. We've also mentioned scalability. How easy is it to upgrade your resources? How easy is it to upgrade your resources? Even if it's a manual process, how easy is it? Or do they offer automatic scaling? Okay, so consider that during selecting your hosting provider. And flexibility, not forgetting flexibility. Can you change your code base from currently what you're using to something else? Does it support modern programming stacks such that you can easily upgrade from one stack to the other? Okay, or is it tied down? Is it vendor specific? There are solutions that are vendor specific. Yeah, you will find hosting providers that are vendor specific. You only need to use this and this, like Lovable. Yes, you are told to use Lovable during your last hackathon. Yeah, Lovable is very vendor specific. You can only use Supabase. You can only use Supabase as your database. So yeah, so choose a hosting provider that is at least flexible, so that when you want to change something, you can easily change it without worrying about your work or worrying, should I now be looking for another vendor or another solution provider? Okay. Also not forgetting support and management. Support and management also very, very important. You don't want to raise an issue and 36 hours later, it has not been resolved. Yet you are the one who is suffering. Your business is suffering. So at least get a solution that offers 24/7 support, technical support, either through chat, phone, or a ticketing system. Okay. And finally, one of the biggest criteria that you can have, costs or pricing. This one is a very, very big criteria. Determinant, cost and pricing. Cost and pricing. You're looking for providers that are very, very transparent in their pricing. One-off fees. And be on the lookout for these introductory prices. Yeah, they can really hit you when it comes to renewal. Yeah, you'll be lured in by a low introductory price. You think it will be like that for eternity. But when it comes to renewal, yeah, so compare those renewal costs versus initial discounts. Compare those renewal costs versus your initial discounts. Very, very important. And also costs of add-ons. Yeah, you need to consider that. Not forgetting other criteria such as reputation and reviews. What are your peers using? What are your peers using? What is their advice? Did they have a good experience using host A and a bad experience using host B and C? So also consider that reviews and reputation. Reviews and reputation is also something that you can consider. Now, onto the nitty-gritty. So today we'll be majorly focusing on cloud hosting. We will be majorly focusing on cloud hosting because let us face it, you are learners. You are learners. Yeah, I know sometimes you might be financially constrained. Yeah, and we're always looking for good deals. Eh? Yes, we're always looking for good deals. So, we'll be majorly focusing on cloud hosting and especially those with a free tier. So we'll be doing Vercel and Netlify. Oh, I forgot another one. Hey, GitHub pages. GitHub pages. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, it is. There's no shame in admitting that. Yeah, you know. Yeah, they offer a very good way, uh, a very how would I call it, entry level solution for hosting if you're just beginning your development. Yeah, so you don't need to spend any money. Maybe just a few coins for internet, and you get that for free in school or your offices. Yeah, so we are going to do that. So for purposes of this lesson, uh, I prepared a repository. So please get the repository on the chat box. Get the repository on the chat box. So I'm going to ask you to download the zipped file. Yeah, I think that one will be easier. So go to the navigate to the repository. On the code button, just click on the downward arrow and select download zip. This will download a zipped folder, an archive of the project. Extract the project. Extract the project. Extract the project. Once you've extracted the project, open that folder with your Visual Studio Code editor. Open that folder with your Visual Studio Code editor. Once you've done that, go back to GitHub and create a new repository. Create a new repository. Just create a new repository. Give it a name. Give it a name. Create a new repository. Give it a name. And copy the link to that new repository and push the downloaded files to that new repository. So on the chat box, there is a link to today's code resources. Download those code resources. Open the folder, extract the folder, extract the archive, sorry. Open that folder with VS Code. Open that folder with VS Code. Once you're done, go back to GitHub, create a new repository, and push those files to that new repository. Yeah? Push those files to that new repository. So remember, you're not uploading the archive, okay? You're not uploading the archive, you're uploading the actual files. So there is a README, there is an index.html, and there are two folders, one for JavaScript, the other one for CSS. Those are the files you are uploading. So that one is the easiest way, okay? That one is the easiest way to get this back to GitHub. So once you've done that, we're going to start off with the most easiest way you can host your project using GitHub pages. So navigate to settings, navigate to settings, navigate to settings, and on the settings page, on the sidebar menu, locate pages, and that will give you the tab for GitHub pages. So from the description at the top, GitHub pages is designed to host your personal, organization, or project pages from a GitHub repository. Okay, so remember this one is a free version. It is a free version, and your repository needs to be public. If you chose a private repository, you'll be asked to pay for it. Okay, so but if it is public, it will be published for free. So on GitHub pages, build and deployment by default should be deploy from a branch. Deploy from a branch. And on the branch section, please select the main branch. Please select the main branch. No need to change this other section for root. Just leave it as it is. And then click on save. And then click on save. So you'll see the message your GitHub page site is currently being built from the main branch. So it usually takes just a few seconds, at most a minute. So you can probably refresh that page to see if it has been built. Not yet. Not yet. Yeah, so let's give it some time to build. Once it is ready and you've refreshed your page, you should see a link will have been created under this section, the top section. So let me see. Yes, mine is ready. Mine is ready. So this will give you a link to your live site. Your site is live at that particular link. So you can visit your site. You can visit your site. You can visit your site. And as simple as that, you have deployed and hosted your website. As simple as that. So please post for me your GitHub pages live links on the chat box if you have successfully done so. Yeah, so again, I've given a link to the repository on the chat box. I want you to download the contents of that repository. So use the download zip file. Use the download zip file option. Use the download zip file option. So after you've downloaded that, extract those files. In the folder that they are extracted to, open that folder using Visual Studio Code. Okay? Open that folder using Visual Studio Code. Then come back to GitHub. Create a new repository. Create a new repository. Once you've created a new repository, please note down the link that you are going to use to push the downloaded files to this new repository. You all know the process of pushing. Okay, I think we all know that currently you need to initialize your folder. You need to add your files. You need to add the remote URL. You need to commit. And finally, you git push. So after doing all that, your files are now available in the new repository you have created. Remember, this one is mine. You can't push your changes here. This one is mine. You can't push your changes. So After you push your changes to the new repository, navigate to settings on GitHub. On the sidebar menu, locate pages, click on that. Locate pages and click on that. The only thing we are changing is the branch section. The branch section, that is what you're changing. Select main. Select main under the branch section and then click on save. And then click on save. So give it a minute. Just give it a minute or two. And when you reload that page, you should see the message, your site is live at this particular URL. Just click on that. It will navigate you to your live site. It will navigate you to your live site. That one is the most easiest way in which you can host a website. So easy, and it's free, and free, and free. Keyword free. Keyword is free. So on the chat box, please share with me your live links. Please share with me your live links. I want to see what you have. Oliver Kaka. Let me see from Oliver Kaka. Very nice. Thank you. Elijah Mutiso. Thank you. Akani Oluwafemi. Thank you, Victor, Rono, Isaac, Eunice, Fadira, Michelle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Yes. So that one is the most easiest and keyword free. Yeah. Ways in which you can quickly host your static website. And keyword again, static. Keyword again is static. Keyword again is static. Remember static. We are not doing a backend here, so we can't host, it will not give you a way for hosting a dynamic websites that have a backend. So this one is only strictly for static websites. Static websites. And just like that, you now have live links for your portfolio projects. You have live links for your portfolio projects. So you do not have to struggle with hosting. You do not have to struggle with hosting. You can have live links for your projects as simple as that. Simply leveraging the use of GitHub pages. Leveraging the use of GitHub pages. Yes. So if you're getting a 404 error, there's something wrong that you did. Definitely there's something wrong that you did. Remember, your index file needs to be at the root. If you've uploaded a directory, then you are very, very wrong. Okay? So your index file needs to be at the directory, at the root directory of your repository. It cannot, this index, it cannot reside within a directory. It needs to be at the root. This is the root of the directory. It cannot be residing in another directory. So that is the most likely reason you might get a 404. Site not found. That is the only reason. So Once again, from settings, navigate to pages on the sidebar menu. It will open the GitHub Pages tab. And on the branch section, select main. Select your branch, which is the main branch. Select main and click on save. As simple as that. Nothing else. There's nothing else you're changing. Nothing else you're changing. So once you've done that, just give it a minute or two. Reload that page. You should see the message with your site live URL. As simple as that. Do not change anything else. Do not change anything else. Now, if you possess a custom domain, you can as well use it here. And getting a domain is simply by selecting a registrar or a domain name service provider. So there are so many across the world, even in your local countries. You have various hosting providers that offer this service. So let me suggest a few that are global. You have GoDaddy. You can buy domains here. You have GoDaddy. You have things like Hostinger. You can also buy domains here. They also offer free domains with some hosting services. So yes, you can register your domain there. And remember, registration of domains is subject to availability. You might have a very good name, thinking that it is available, but shock on you. There are also people who think like you, Yeah, so you might find a domain name is already taken up. A domain name, you might find it is already taken up. So yeah, it is subject to availability. So once you've registered a domain, you've gotten the go-ahead that your domain has been registered and it is ready, then you can come and place it right here as part of your custom domain. And that is what will be served on your website, live URL. It will replace this. Okay, so you can actually do that. Okay, so that was option number one. Domain prices, yeah, I'm getting some other suggestions. Namecheap. Domain prices really vary depending on the vendor. Yeah, depending on the vendor, domain prices vary. They vary. And they're also dependent on the top level domain. The top level domain is TLD. You might come across that one, top level domain. So depending on the top level domain, this is also a determinant for the price. So top level domains are what you see like .org, .com, .biz. Those ones are top level domains. Even country specific, you have .sa, not ZA is for South Africa. I don't know why you use Z. Better known to you. You have your own reasons. ZA. True. I'm not sure why they do ZA. It is not South Africa. It is. Oh, SA was already taken. Okay. You have KE for Kenya. You have TZ for Tanzania, and so on and so forth. So those ones are what we call top level domain. So they have different pricing. They have different pricing, and also pricing is also dependent on the vendors. So I can't give I can't put an actual price on the domains. And we are all from different countries. So currency wise, I would also be misleading you if I gave you the price for Kenya. Yes, we also have NG for Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So, yes, so depends with the vendor, depends with the TLD. Okay. And there are people who also register. There are people who also register very unique names, and then they come to sell them. Okay, so yeah, you might find a domain is on sale, hey, but the price, but the price. Yeah, so there are also people who do business. So also be very careful. When you are registering a company or a business, also be very careful. There are people who are just on the prowl looking for ways to make money. So you've just registered your business, you're starting out, and somebody sees an opportunity. They figure you might need a website, and they go and register a domain name in your business name. You know, the registrar won't ask for any documentation. So, and then you find, hey, somebody registered a domain, and then you want to buy from them. Becomes very, very expensive. So, yes. Can we proceed to option number 2? We can proceed to option number 2. Yeah, so domains typically are paid for annually. They are paid for annually, so you need to renew them at least every year, or you can pay for them for several years. Once the time lapses, you can renew that. So, but minimum is 1 year. Minimum is 1 year for domain name registration. You can register them for 1 year and then renew after that. I'm unable to download the zip file. It's saying potential security issue. Yeah, that is a setting on your own local machine. I don't know if GitHub has any limitations on how long a site remains live. I would need to check on that. Okay, so on to the next option. We are going to do Netlify. So please open netlify.com. Please open netlify.com. Netlify.com. Please open netlify.com. If you have an account, log in. If you do not have an account, you can use the sign up option. Use the sign up option and sign up with GitHub, not email or Google. Just sign up with GitHub. That one is the most easiest way. You can use Netlify because once you sign up with GitHub, it will ask you to authorize Netlify to access your GitHub account. So once you do that, you can either choose to list all directories, not directories, to list all repositories, or you can select a few repositories to be listed on the Netlify, on your Netlify account. So once you sign up with GitHub, please authorize the Netlify application to access your GitHub repositories. Authorize the Netlify application to access the GitHub repositories. And once you're done, it should navigate you back to the dashboard. So on the dashboard, we are going to add a new project. On the dashboard, we are going to add a new project. Add a new project. So click on add a new project on the dashboard. And we are going to use import an existing project. Import an existing project. So here you're going to be given options. Connect to a Git provider. So because we are using GitHub, please select that. Please select that. If you have not already authorized Netlify, you'll also be given a chance to authorize the application here as well. So follow those prompts, authorize that application, and on the next page, select either all repositories. You can select either all repositories, or you can select which repository that you want to deploy using Netlify. Using Netlify. Okay. So once you've done that, you'll be redirected back to Netlify. You will see a list of your repositories. You'll see a list of your repositories. Select the repository that you want to host. Select the repository that you want to host. If you are new to Netlify, you'll be required to set up a team. Okay. You'll be required to set up a team. If you already have a team in place or a list of teams, just select one. Then put up a project name. Put up a project name under the project name fields. Okay. So with that, you are ready to deploy. You do not need to change anything. The branch to deploy is already selected as main. So you do not need to change anything from there. Since you are doing a static website, you do not need to change anything at all. Okay. But if you were doing any other project and your project requires any build commands, then you would put those build commands under the build command section. If you have a published directory, you would also include that. Or if you have a functions directory, if your application has a functions directory, you would also include it under the functions section. Now, for those ones who will be doing backend development, you will come across something called environment variables. Environment variables are simply your secret keys, your client IDs, your usernames, your passwords, your database hosting, URLs, and so on and so forth. So those ones are stored in an env file. You will come to learn more about that during backend development. So never ever upload your env file to a GitHub repository. That one is a big no. You never ever do that. Remember, this is a file that contains your passwords and credentials. So At no one point should it be publicly available. Okay? So hosting providers such as Netlify will always provide you a way for saving your environment variables. So this is the section where you do so. So you can simply add them from there, and you do not have to change your code. You'll still be accessing them as you used to access them, even on your local machine. So there's no need to change your code. You just add them from here and you are good to go. Since we are doing a static site, there's nothing else to change here. You just given it a project name and click on deploy. Click on deploy. Click on deploy. So once that is done, you should see the message, your site has been published. And at the top, you should see your new web live site URL. So you can open that. It should redirect you to your new website. Remember, you are still using the same repository we used for GitHub pages. That is the same repository that we are still using. So there is our website successfully hosted on Netlify. Okay. So let me see your live links. Let me see your live links for Netlify on the chat box. Can I see your live links for Netlify? Very good, very good. Thank you all. Good stuff, Good stuff. Good. Good stuff. So as simple as that, you will have hosted your Netlify, your project on Netlify. As simple as that. So once again, if you have a custom domain that you need to use, you can also configure it. You can also configure it under domain management. You can configure it under domain management and set that up right there. So let me just go through that once again. So you are signing up for an account on netlify.com if you do not have one. So use the GitHub option, get an account, authorize Netlify. During the sign up process, you'll be required to authorize Netlify. If you skip it, you will still be required to authorize Netlify at a later time. So on the dashboard, we are adding a new project and you select import an existing project. Select your GitHub as your Git provider. So if you did not authorize during your registration, you will be required to authorize here. Okay, during this process, you'll be required to authorize. So during the authorization process, you can either choose to list all your repositories in your GitHub account, or you can select which ones you want to be listed on Netlify. Okay, so currently I'm only displaying two from my repository. So once your repositories are listed, you will select the one that you want to deploy using Netlify. And you simply give your project a name. You're not changing anything else. Just give your project a name and click on deploy. This is a static website. There's nothing else you need to change. Nothing else at all that we need to change. So give your project a name. If you do not have a team, create one. Okay. If you do not have a team, create one. Otherwise, just give your project a name and click on deploy. As easy as that. As easy as that. And once it is done, you should see your site has been published message and a link to the live site. A link to the live site. So one of the good things about these cloud hosting solutions, such as GitHub Pages, such as Netlify, Vercel, Render, Bolt.new, the good thing about these hosting solutions is they have something called CI/CD, CI/CD, CI/CD. So this one stands for continuous integration or continuous improvement, continuous deployment. So that is what it stands for. So integration and improvement, they are interchangeable, depending on who you talk to. But what this does is the moment you need to update your website or your web files, you do not have to go and redeploy. You will just push your changes to your repository. You will push your changes to your repository. And the moment those changes are detected, they are automatically relayed to your live site. So that is the beauty of these cloud hosting solutions. So once you deploy, that is it. You do any updates, just push your changes to the repository. You do not have to do any further action. No further action is required from you for the hosting. Yeah, you can even test it out with your repositories. Just change something on the index file. Just try and change something on the index file and see that it will be updated. Let me do a change on the title, digital agency website. What can I change? You can say welcome. So I'm changing just simple things. I want to showcase the CI/CD nature of these hosting solutions. So we'll start with GitHub Pages. You can start with GitHub Pages. So I changed the title. This one is not yet. Let us see Netlify. Yes, Netlify has updated. So here I changed this. I included this, welcome. I changed the title. Hey, GitHub, you're the one hosting this repository. Why have you not updated? But as you can see, Netlify has already updated that change. Maybe this one is still loading. Let us see. One minute ago, it should be live. Yes, finally. GitHub catches up. Yeah, so that is the beauty of using these cloud solutions. So once you've hosted it, once you've deployed once, there's no need for any further action from your part. You'll just be constantly updating your project files, and they will be automatically synced to your live site. So you do not need to worry about those things. So those are some of the hosting solutions when it comes to cloud hosting. All these are free. Of course, they have some form of limitations. Vercel offers the same service as Netlify. The steps are basically the same. Basically the same. It's only the UI that is different. And the only other difference is with Vercel, it will probably list all your repositories, unlike Netlify, where you can choose to list some. But the steps are basically the same. Sign up with your GitHub account, authorize the Vercel application, select the repository that you want to deploy, select the branch, and deploy. Nothing much to it, the same way we have done on Netlify. Yeah, so I'll give you a slight peek. I'll give you a slight peek on Microsoft Azure. I'll give you a slight peek on Microsoft Azure. You see how that one looks like, and also cPanel hosting. Just a slight peek. We are not going to do anything here because this belongs to someone else. It is not mine. It is not mine. Yes, I have access, but it is not mine. Yeah. Yeah, so this is how your dashboard for Microsoft Azure would look like. You have various services. So if you are looking to host, this one is paid for. This one is not free. This one is paid for. It is not free. So as you can see, you have so many options from app services. This one is the one that is like Netlify and Vercel. Yes. But with this one, you can actually host a full-fledged application, both backend and front-end. So you also have your databases there. Cosmos DB, that is another database. You have your virtual machines. Virtual machines are like dedicated servers. They are like dedicated servers. You have storage accounts, you have virtual networks, so many options that you can choose from. So yeah, this is how Azure looks like. cPanel is mostly for shared hosting. This one is mostly for shared hosting. So again, you have several options. You can even do emails. You have your file management here section. This is where you'll upload your files. You'll upload your files from the file manager. You can even do databases, different database. You have PHP MyAdmin, if you know what that is. This is an administration software for a database management system. You can manage your domains, including subdomains. I hope you know what a subdomain is. I hope you know what a subdomain is. So for example, like PowerLearn, we have the main website. You have the Academy website. And for us instructors, we also have an admin website. Yeah, so admin and academy, those are considered as subdomains. So with cPanel, you can also actually do that. You can do subdomain management. You also have a section for metrics where you can monitor your website, any statistics, including bandwidth, visitors, page visits, okay? Yeah. You can as well do CMSs. You can install WordPress and other apps. You can set up your Python app, set up your Node.js app, and so on and so forth. So yes, in a nutshell, that is how cPanel looks like. Yeah, so most service providers will provide you video guides. They will provide you video guides on how to use such solutions for cPanel. Even Azure and Google Cloud will provide documentation on how to use their services. So these ones are not taught in class. These ones are not taught in class. Uh, you will learn them as you go. You will learn them as you go. Okay. Yeah. So I think that brings me to the end of my presentation. That brings me to the end of my presentation on deployment and hosting. Deployment and hosting. At least now you know how to host your websites for free. Yeah. Don't stress about money when you have free options. Yeah. So Netlify and Vercel, those ones I can confirm your application will be live forever. Forever, forever, forever. Yeah, forever. Those ones will be live forever. Yeah, you've seen on my Netlify account, I have an application from last year, May, and last year, April and May, a year ago. They're still live. They are still live. So yeah, this one we are doing a task manager. Yeah, so yes, these ones I can confirm. They will always be available. I can open my Vercel. Vercel. Let me just open my Vercel account. Yes, I also have a chatbot from February 28th. I have a task management with Firebase from last year, around June, I think. Yes. Yeah, so for Netlify and Vercel, you can also do full stack applications. I just realized on Netlify, you can also add a database. This one was not there previously, so I'm not sure how that one works. But it's good to see you can actually create a database. That is very amazing. So you can do full stack hosting of applications here. You can host your Node.js apps here. You can host React here. Okay. Yes. It is very, very possible. Very, very possible. Yeah, otherwise I will welcome your questions if you have any. Welcome your questions if you have any before we end this session. Before we end this session. So please raise your hand if you have any question, and then Kenechukwu, James Amayo, Dorcas, Aso Uduma.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening.
Sir,
Please.
continue. Go on, please. Go on.
Okay. Yeah. When you were talking earlier, you made mention of final hackathon. And if my
Final
memory,
hackathon.
yeah, if my memory served me right.
No. I will stop you right there. I did not mention a final hackathon. I mentioned your previous hackathon.
Maybe you should allow me finish my question, then you understand where I'm coming from. Or maybe you mistakenly said it. Maybe you said it mistakenly. But you said there will be a final one, and from the beginning of the program, you said there will be 4 of it. So and we've only done 2, so which means you're about to do 3, or is it still going to be 4 hackathon?
Okay, so I thank you for your question. One, I did not mention a final hackathon during this session. I mentioned a previous hackathon. Two, yes, during your info session, it was mentioned you'll be doing at least 4 hackathons. So communication on number 3 and 4 will be made to you in due time. Okay. Next question, please.
Okay, sir. My question is, this GitHub and Netflix, Netlify and what is it again? The Vercel hosting. What are the limitations in case someone wants to build a site maybe for someone? Can you host it there?
That is what we've just done.
Yes, I know. I'm asking, what are the limitations? Can it run smoothly? Like,
That is what we've just done. So that is what we've just done. So the limitations are based on what you can actually host. I'm not sure on the limitation per se, but maybe when you log out of Netlify and Vercel, you can visit the pricing page and see what is offered for the free tier. Okay.
oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir.
But what I'm sure of is for a static website, that one has no limitation. For static websites, that one has no limitation. Maybe when you add some backend component to your application, then that is when you will get some limitations.
All right, sir.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello. Good evening, Eddie.
Good evening.
Okay, so thank you very much for this session. I just want to ask, so how does CI/CD come into play for full stack projects?
Oh?
I said, how does continuous improvements and continuous deployments come in play for full stack projects? Because I noticed that sometimes banks go offline to perform upgrades. So I'm wondering why.
Yeah, so this is only an option. It is not. It is not. It is not. It is not that everyone uses it. Okay. There's a reason why banks go offline when they are doing their upgrades. So this one is only an option. It is not a must that you use such kinds of features in your application.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
I have a question concerning the assignment this week. Is there a specific deadline?
As soon as you can submit it. Yeah, but I think in the morning we say that at most 2 weeks. At most 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah. Thank you, sir, for today's lecture.
Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes when I'm pushing to GitHub, I do have this error 403. So, but you mentioned something that we need to take the directory to the root. So how can I do that?
Sorry, please come again.
Okay, you sometimes when I'm posting from VS Code to GitHub, I do get this error 404 or sometimes error 403. So when you were speaking, you said that we need to take the directory to the root. So I'm asking that how can I do that?
Yeah, so you're reporting two separate issues.
Okay.
Yeah. So 403 errors occur when you're not authorized to make changes to a repository. So I'm assuming this is for the assignment.
Yes.
So yeah, for the reason why you're getting that is you're pushing your changes to the main assignment repository, which
Okay.
you're not authorized to do so. So for the assignment, the instructions were to fork, not clone. There's a very big difference between forking and cloning a repository. So you fork a repository from GitHub, the GitHub interface. If you can see my screen, this is where you
Yes, I
fork.
can. Okay.
Yes, so you create a new fork, and this will create a copy of that repository on your own account.
Yeah.
Yeah, so once you do that, then you can copy the link of that new repository and use it for your assignment.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So the second one. So but how can I take the directory to the root?
The root is here. When the root is this concerning GitHub pages, your file needs to be at the root. This is the root. So this file, yeah, it should not be inside any other directory.
Okay.
Yes. So if you have a directory here, please make sure your index file is outside that directory. Otherwise, you will get a 404 error when you configure GitHub pages because it cannot find this particular file.
Okay. Okay, that means I'm going to push it first. I'm pushing the index.html first.
Nope. Together.
Not necessarily fast. You can upload everything, but make sure you're not uploading a directory that make sure all your files are not in a directory and you're pushing that directory to your repository. Yeah?
Okay.
So just push the actual files to the repository so that index is index is in the root. It does not reside in any other directory.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Excuse
you.
me, sir. Good evening, sir.
Thank you.
I'm not sure who spoke first.
Okay, my question is,
Okay.
Yes.
I was just asking about the top level domain of an institution like ac.ac.ke. Is it also the same as you were saying that the price varies? Does it varies for all the institution?
No, just the top level domain part. That one is a price determinant. Because if you check a registrar like TrueHost or Host Africa, you will see different prices based on those top level domains. It's not even based on the name itself, just the TLD.
Okay.
Yeah, that is why you find sometimes .co.ke you're being charged 1,000 Kenya shillings and .com is maybe 2,500. So those ones are the ones that determine price.
Okay, thank you. And also, I'll just like to thank you for it has been 8 weeks. This is my first time speaking, and during this whole process, I've grown. So I'll just
I've seen you
thank
speak
you.
before.
Yes?
I think I've seen you speak before.
I was just asking, I was having a problem. That is why I talked at that particular time. But I've never asked any question. But since we Kwan have grown in terms of the web dev, and I'm grateful.
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. And I'm glad to hear that. Always a
Yes.
pleasure to see someone grow. Thanks so much, Rono. Next question, please.
Yes, excuse me, sir. I also thank you for 8 weeks in what you've taught us. But my question was on the Netlify.
Yes.
When you're hosting a website and it has like a backend, for example, like a Superbase, can you show us like how you can host it with a database? Because for mine, I think there was a time it was connecting to the database, and there are times it was just like a static website. So like that's where I was confused a bit.
Yeah. So I haven't been on Netlify for a while. I'm actually seeing this ad database for the first time. When I visited this back in 2024, I did not see the database options. So this app that I actually did, this one has a Firebase database.
Mhm.
It has a Firebase database, so the app is actually on Firebase. The database is on Firebase, but maybe I can do a video. Let me explore this option of adding a database, do a video, and I'll post it under week 8.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Next question, please.
Rosa,
Hello.
yes, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine too.
Mhm.
So my question is a bit is about the hosting services.
Mhm.
So I'm asking, what if instead of using this Netlify and the Vassar and those that person that the one that we are going to buy, is there a way when maybe like you have like 2 laptops, you make one laptop to be the host?
Yes, there is a way.
Uh-huh.
Yes, there is a way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so there are applications that can help you do that, but only for a limited time. It is not something that is forever. So if you need extended time, you'd need to pay for those services. So you
Yeah.
can have a look at NGRock.
NGRock.
Yes, you can have a look at NGRock. This one
Yeah.
exposes a local IP on your machine to the public internet.
Yeah.
There's NGRock. Which other one? I think this one is the one that I've used most. Yeah, just have a look at this one. This one is the one that I've used most. And this one I'm sure about. So this one exposes your locally developed sites on your local machine to the public internet, but for a limited time. If you need extended time, it will take some payment.
Yeah.
Yes.
What if?
So it is.
What if you see like these companies that make this NGRock and those hosting services? I think they still have also their own computers. Their servers are still computers.
Yes, they are.
So what if that you don't want to pay, so you want to turn your computer to be a server itself? You sell it to people.
Yes, I'm telling you, it is possible, but you need a third-party application to help you do that. You
Okay.
need a third-party application to help you do that.
Okay. So
The other
I'm
option would be you get a static IP address. Yeah, you get a static IP address. If you have a static IP address that is connected to your local machine, you can access You can access it through the public internet.
Okay.
But then again, you'd also need to do some configuration so that it
Yeah.
only displays your site, not your computer's content.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. If I set one, hope people will come and buy from me their services.
I hope so too. But
Thank you.
you know the tax man will be after you, eh? You can't just be earning money for free. Okay. Thank you, Eric. Next question, please.
Okay, excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Okay, hope you're good. I had a question on the SDLC, the one that we first started. You stated that we are supposed to be checking if the website is compatible with all browsers. Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, like you stated on the SDLC process, whereby you stated that we are supposed to cross browser testing, whereby we are supposed to be testing if your website is compatible with the other browsers. So my question is that is there like a way whereby we are supposed to be testing, or we need the OS to test it? Like for example, I have maybe a Windows, and do I need a MacBook to test if it is compatible with it, or there's a specific application that I test with it?
Yeah, so I'm sure there are cross-browser testing tools. That was a long time ago. I don't know if that tool is still available.
Excuse me, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, just a minute. Yeah, so there was a tool called Browser Stack. Maybe you can have a look at it. Browser Stack. So you don't need to have all the other OSs. You can simply use it to test out your site across different browsers. I'm sure there must be others. There must be others for that purpose. It's something we used to use back in the day. I can't quite remember it. If I remember it, I'll include it in the notes. But Browser Stack should be one of the options that you can use for that purpose.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate.
Thank you. Next question.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Now, one at a time, kindly. Then no one is speaking.
Okay, let me speak.
Yeah, good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Diana.
Okay, mine is not a question. I just had an issue. I've been away in a remote area, and now I'm back in Nairobi. And while I was catching up, some of the repository links aren't working. So, can you help me with that?
Yes. So please reach out to me on email. I'll see how I can assist.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you for the wonderful section. Please, mine is about the assignment. Please, can I be heard, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. For instance, we are to the assignment we are to do as a README file. Now, you doing that assignment, there is need for you to also create another README, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, your README file, which directory is it supposed to be located so that it's not going to conflict with the already existing README file?
You'll replace the README file that is there.
Okay, you replace. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, thank you for the 8 weeks. But I had a concern, two concerns. First of all, when we're done with the 8 weeks, is the content going to be deleted from the site, from the LMS? For example, like all the recordings, basically. Are they going to be removed or they still be there until we finish, until we graduate?
This will be present until your graduation, at least until your graduation.
Okay. My second question is that let's say for a project, can one use one project from their hackathon as their main project?
For your final project or for assignment?
Final project. Can one
Yes,
use
that one is allowed, but there's a disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
You will need to do it in a new repository. Please do not submit repository you submitted during the hackathon.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Have a lovely night.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. How are you? Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for your time. I personally appreciate for teaching us all through. Personally, I can say I've grown. I'm still growing, but at least I've grown.
I'm glad to hear that.
I had a concern. When I check in my GitHub account on the project that you gave us, like the one that we were working on. When you said that we go to the setting on my GitHub account, I don't have the setting. Just immediately after the insight, I don't have the setting, something known as the setting. So I don't know. How can you help me?
You did not follow instructions.
It's not a matter of following instructions, like setting. I was checking on your account just immediately after the insight. There is setting, but I don't have.
Yeah, so the reason why you do not have settings is because you're accessing a repository that is not yours. The repository you're accessing, can you give me the URL? I'm sure it is mine. Canon. Yeah, seems to have lost him. Next question. And next question.
Good evening.
Evening.
Okay, this is Bilal Salam. Firstly, I'd like to appreciate you for your time for treating us through the 8 weeks. It's been a great journey. But secondly, I have to ask, can we get an access to you after our classes if we face any problem or something?
Yes. I'm here. So you can always reach me via email. And I'll be taking a back seat, but I'll be supporting the full stack development module. So yes, you can always reach out.
Yes. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir, I'm back.
Yes, Canon.
I had today I've been experiencing a little bit of network default. So my question was just immediately after the insight.
Yeah. Yes.
An issue.
Yeah, there's something wrong with your connection. So I was saying.
Yes.
Can you confirm the repository you are accessing? Is it mine?
Can you remember the link that you gave us?
Yes. Is that the one you
at the
are
end of it,
saying?
it's known as capstone.
Is that the one
Yes,
that
because
put out the settings?
Yes.
Yes, and I've said you did not follow instructions. The instructions were access the repository, download the files of the repository, extract them to a folder on your local machine.
I downloaded through the zip.
Okay. Did you go back to GitHub and create
I
a
did
new
that.
repository? On the new repository, did you
Yes.
upload the files back? Did you push them back to the new repository?
Yes.
Then you should have the settings on the new repository, not on mine. That one is mine. You cannot change settings on my repository. You change settings on your own repository, one that you have access and authorization to change settings on. You can't change settings on my own repository. So I think that is where the confusion is coming in.
Okay.
Yes. So on the new repository that I asked you to create, that is where you'll change the settings from. That is where you'll configure your GitHub pages.
So you're right.
Yes. So probably you missed that instruction because of the network issue.
Yeah, I think that.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes.
Yes, I just have a quick one. I'm asking, where do I find
Thank you, sir.
the link in the Netlify? Where do I find the link for the deployment link?
As after deployment is successful, it should be a green text at the very top. Once deployment is successful, so it's right at the top under your project name.
Okay. I've seen it.
Hi, Eddie.
Yes.
Okay, a quick one. I just want to ask if say I want to develop a sort of website where I just want to get notified by mail when someone reaches out, say via a form on the web page, right? Do I really need a back end for that?
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Services like mail are configured on a back end, not on the front end.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Oh, that live website is just showing the first page only. The other pages are blank. I don't know why.
It only has one page.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm saying it only has one page.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, it's a one-page website. So these ones are just linked to different sections of the page.
No, I can see the other sections.
They are on that one page. You have your about section, you have services, you have our work, you have testimonials, and get in touch for the contact. So when you click on the menu, it will navigate you right to that section.
Now, when I click the menu, like let's say home, all about, it's taking me to a blank page, just blank, whitish.
Taking you to a blank page, or your site has not loaded properly. Can you try reloading your page?
It's the same with GitHub and Netlify.
Did you by any chance touch the HTML code?
No.
Okay. Now, who is that? Who is that who's speaking? I need to promote you so that I can see what you have. He has dropped off. Who was speaking? I need to promote you so that I can see your screen. Okay, I think he's dropped off. Okay, next question.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
First and foremost, let me say thank you for the wonderful opportunity. I've never talked in this class, but today being the last class, I've taken the class of the mic. Let me use it nicely. There have been a very good 8 weeks. There have been 8 good weeks of growth and marvelous work on your end. So I appreciate so much. I've grown so much
Thank
technically,
you.
and I'll continue putting more of what I've grasped into hands-on so that I may gain more and more. But I may be approaching you time to time, asking for more questions through your email. Otherwise, thank you very much and wishing you a lovely time and nice to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Yes. Please approach with as many questions as you have. We are here to help. We are here to help. It will be my pleasure to assist. Thank you for that. Any other question? Any other question? Any other question before we end this session? I don't know who was speaking before Stephen. Yes, Raphael. Was it you? I can't hear you. Me. I also can't hear you if you are speaking. Sure what is up with your microphones. I can see you're unmuted, but we can't hear you. Same goes for Raphael.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Okay, it's me again. I wanted to ask about the repos. Are they going, zitakuwa live bado? Ama?
Which ones?
All of them, all of them, like from the start. Will they be
Yes,
deleted?
no, they're just there.
Okay, thank you.
They'll just be there present. Any other question? Any other question? Hey, Raphael, I think there's an issue with your mic. Maybe you can type in the chat box. Same to Omowunmi. Bare metal servers. Those are just dedicated servers, dedicated hosting. There's nothing really special about them. There's nothing really special about them. So you're just renting a whole server for yourself. Okay, so please, if there are any more questions, I have posted my email address on the chat box. Please reach out if you have any other question. I will address it from there. Otherwise, thank you so much. It has been an amazing 8 weeks. Thank you for the wonderful, wonderful questions. I really, really hope you got to learn something during the 8 weeks. And I look forward to seeing you during specialization. Yeah, if you'll be doing full stack, I will be there. Yes, I will be there if you'll be doing full stack. Otherwise, thank you, everyone. As always, it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure. Thank you very much. And I wish you all the very best as you continue your software development journey, whichever track that you take. I wish you all the very, very best. But remember, do not fail to practice. Yes, practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. Practice as much as you can. Gain as much knowledge as you can. Yeah. Okay, so I will end the session there.
Bye bye. Bye bye. See you. See you next.
Yeah.